yeah.
This is being recorded.
Let's go. Three amigos.
Holy smokes.
I have to
I
consent to
kind of had
that.
a feeling, Cody, that we were both going to be wearing Waterland shirts.
Yeah, I had that feeling as well.
Aaron, where's your Waterland shirt?
I don't own any shirts with sleeves.
Come
Except for
on.
a total of three sim shirts now.
There's six now,
I'm really
but
proud. Hey,
I think
thanks
there's
for
six.
taking time out of your night tonight. I just wanted to have you guys both on and first just say that even though we all don't know each other super well, even though we're all buddies, I really enjoy the YouTube camaraderie between all three of us. Just the
We're
subtle
getting
little
there.
sprinklings in our videos that we do sometimes.
Gotta add it in there.
It's fun. I enjoy it. So, but no, really, I wanted to do, even though I was only up there for 5 days, I just wanted to do a August recap with you guys because now, I mean, I shouldn't say we're nearing like the end of that bite because it's not, I'm guessing, just an August thing. But
No,
just, since you guys both fished the same derby last weekend too, just kind of talk about all that stuff and get your viewpoints on it because there was a stark contrast in how things fished for Cody some days, how things fished for Aaron, and how things fished for me, which we all know how that went. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to control the conversation. We're like most of these podcasts, we're just bullshitting and talking fishing. But that was the main reason why I wanted to have you guys on quick yet tonight.
Are
no
you
problem.
still drying off your stuff?
No, there's all new stuff, but my father doesn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens.
I'm glad you snuck it in on the last little bit of your video.
Yeah, I had to. I'm not sure that it's going to make it to like a reel or anything like that, just based on my sailboat reel that I posted last night that I ended up just deleting because I can't handle that shit. The sailboat community came for me big time.
Mhm.
And not just on comments on that video, like going back to like old posts on my Instagram, just blowing it up. So I had to bail.
Yeah, that'll
Wow,
happen.
It's
I
wild,
didn't know they were that vicious.
dude. Yeah,
They are.
it's gnarly. It got gnarly there. My wife will be proud that I deleted it. She wasn't too happy with me calling those people out, but yeah, I realized the power of reels with that. So I don't know if I'm gonna throw the clip to a reel of me getting dumped over in 65-degree water.
Yeah.
The sailboaters will find you.
Yeah, somehow I'll be down. I'll be swimming with the sheephead. Anyway, one of you guys take it away. Talk to me about August this year compared to last year, years past, because I feel like it's been kind of a little bit weird.
Yeah. Good old hog.
Cody's fished more than me this year, so you might as well start.
I've fished more than you, Mick.
I got a full-time job still.
Man, you're out there every day. Every time I am out fishing, this guy is out there. I don't care where I am. I could be anywhere on the bay, and all of a sudden, boom, a red and white skeeter just pops up out of nowhere. You
Well,
know
you've
what I
seen the
mean?
binoculars. So how do I find fish?
Yeah, he's got albinos.
I'm
Yeah,
not looking for fish. I'm looking for boats.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, if I had to compare this year, from last year, personally, I would say, on the northern half of the bay, it was probably a little slower. Um, I don't know if that just had a lot to do with the inconsistent wind that we had coming out of the north the last couple of weeks that just kind of slowed the bite down for us like drastically.
Yeah.
Brian, you got to experience majority of that when you were here,
Yep.
which really sucked.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean it's been, I mean, we've been catching some really good fish, obviously. I mean, fishing's been great. Actually leading right up to before you came. Fishing on the east side all the way up, north to Door County was just stellar. Put a lot of fish in the boat, a lot of numbers of fish, and got some big fish too as well. And um, things just kind of started slowing down as soon as that north wind picked up. And
Mhm.
I feel like you brought it with you from Kansas.
Yeah.
I know you
Well,
did.
Aaron, that's what Roger said, right?
Oh, he called you out on it. I know you did. But
Yeah.
like Cody said, it was going really good the first week or two in August. And then the weather was nice. We were able to drive where we wanted to. And then you showed up and it got bad. But even for me, the fishing this year was a lot tougher than last year. Because even if you found fish last year, you could usually get them to bite. This year, even though you're finding fish, they wouldn't move, they wouldn't look at a bait. That third week of August timeframe, I guess, up north in Chambers and the other islands, it was just the fish weren't biting. You could find them, but they wouldn't bite.
Yeah.
Unlike last year and the year before. So I don't know if there's more bait out there or what's really causing that. There's got to be more food out there for them right now that they're just stuffed. They don't care.
That is a big thing. I did notice a lot of bait in the system this year, especially up north. I mean, even in Ocano and Sturgeon Bay, just seeing a lot bigger bait balls and more of them than I've seen, in years past, which, doesn't necessarily help the bite out, that much, but being able to find those bait balls, it really kind of helps you find the fish a lot quicker too. I've been on some mega schools kind of around Sturgeon Bay and then even on the west side, Ocano down to like Gano's, Swamico area. There's some massive schools of walleyes, and if you can find those, a lot of times you can just have a heyday, of catching eaters, putting eaters in the boat, especially with the death jig. That's been like one of my staples this year. I've been trying to get Mick to throw that a little more because he's a big shiver guy. But
I will.
that death jig, man, that thing has just been a killer for eaters. I've had clients in the boat casting those things, pretty much all summer long, and we've just been putting on clinics with those.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad to have gotten one fish on that when I was up there. I mean, the one good afternoon that we had, it's not my favorite thing to throw, but like I can see where when you're dialed on it, I mean, it's like, it's just way easier. It's a target casting thing. It's not like, like Aaron's situation where he doesn't use his trolling motor. He just sets up a drift over an area and shivers the whole time and just runs into fish, where he's target casting sometimes, but like, his father-in-law, Roger, is behind him, casting in the same general direction and just, running into him like that 31 and a half or a 31 incher or whatever, versus like me trying to set my dad up, like over on Sister Shoals area on those fish with a death jig. It's just really hard because you may only have like one chance at those fish before your spot lock gets weird or you blow off of them. So I was doing a lot of casting for my dad and then handing him the rod. And I mean, we got bites on him, but they were just barely grabbing it or he was setting too early. So and I have a lot of respect, Cody, for you running trips on a death jig bite where you might be doing the same thing, like lining a client up on a fish and they have to make that target cast to do it. It was super, super tough and frustrating versus like where I could have probably made it easier on myself and just set up a drift, give my dad a shiver minnow and just been like, okay, they're over in this direction. Don't cast over my line. Just cast over there and just get them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it really comes down to what the weather's doing that day, that can make it a lot less frustrating. If it's flat calm out, you got decent conditions, casting a death jig is going to be a lot easier. Especially with clients and stuff like that. But it's just one of those things, it's a little bit of a learning curve, going from, a really erratic presentation down to, this presentation that you're casting and slow rolling back to the boat. And especially when, you're sharp shooting at, walleyes that you're seeing on your live scope unit, there's a learning curve there and there's a process to, really get it, dialed in and get it to the point where customers are comfortable with, oh, there's a fish, 45 feet that way, pitch right on top of it and catch that fish, so there's a learning process there, but I only get them into the boat if that's what they want to do for that day. I'm just going to try and help them speed up that process, show them how I do it, and, hopefully help them put a few more fish in the boat when they go out on their own. But
and you got to trust that blade starts spinning too. That was the biggest thing is like, we'd have it blow right by a fish. You'd follow it and then go down and you bring it back in and it's fouled up. It's like, you have no way of really knowing. I mean, yeah, you cast it out there, get it down, give it one pop, hope that blade gets spinning.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's
I did
focus my video on tomorrow is just casting that thing. Just so Aaron knows how I cast them.
If I get that rod, I'll give it a shot. But I've given it its fair share. I've tried it a bunch of times off camera. It's kind of boring to just watch me cast it and not do anything with it, but I have tried it. And I did notice the blades. I watched Max's last video a couple weeks ago. I gave him a little bit of a tweak and it did help a lot with the spinning.
Oh, pitch
I
it
could
in
definitely
a little
feel
bit.
it. Yeah, I could feel it in the rod then, because before that, you were guessing in the wind to see if it was spinning or not. And half the time you'd go right past the fish and the fish wouldn't move and you'd pull the bait in and it's not spinning. You're
Yep.
like, oh, there's your reason. But
Yep.
giving that little tweak definitely helped a lot with the blades on that death jig.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I do that right as I get them out of the package and put them in the tackle box. I just take them and twist those blades because then there's really never any question, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, following it up is definitely like one of the most stressful things in the world, especially when you're watching a fish follow it on live scope all the way up to the boat and it never hits it. And then you get it up and you realize it's fouled up. Like that'll make you want to rip your hair out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was our last day when we were supposed to leave that last Friday. When you, me, and Sweary and Mick were all up on the north side of Chambers on the big tip, and well, Aaron was further south yet on that break line. It was never an issue of not finding fish. There were plenty of fish over there. Like I pulled up to you, Cody put live scope down. I look over at you and you're like, you see them? And I look at my screen. I'm like, oh yeah, there's fucking 6 of them right there. Nothing. I mean, then they were here and gone, but then we kept moving around. Mick sent me his general direction. And I mean, yeah, it was just like every 50 yards, there were groups of fish. And then by like towards the end of the day at like 4 o'clock, and we were about having to leave. I mean, I think the last school of fish we tried where there were like 13 to 15 walleyes sitting in the school. we couldn't get one to go. And I just looked at my dad. I was like, I can't do it anymore. It was
Heartbreak.
I wasn't fishing though. I was trying to get him at that point. I had given up and I was just trying to get him one last fish. And it was tough for everybody. Then there was a lot of pressure in that area too.
Yeah, that's Door County in a nutshell, man. You mark 60 fish and you catch 5,
Yep.
But they're big.
Fishery, but they are big.
That's why you go up there. That's why everybody goes up there. You don't catch many small ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are some random ones, obviously, but everybody goes up there to catch those 28, 29, 30 inchers.
Yep. I had no expectations going into it. It's like with the weather. I mean, I fish full time. The weather's going to do what it's going to do. And when you got north winds blowing cold water down from Big Bay to Knock and Escanaba and all that, Keith Cavaias even said it in an Instagram story like a week ago when he was pre-fishing for the Derby. He's like, fuck, if this happens, you're going to have a really tough time getting these fish to go. So
he drove right by me probably half hour before he posted that reel. We were out on Chambers that day and he came driving by us. He looked for like a minute maybe by us, then he just took off and went straight north. He wasn't even going to stick around by Chambers because the water dropped and he was out of there.
Yeah. Well, that's enough east side talk. Aaron, what's going on the west side? Because I know Cody's got a fish there. What? Cody, did you fish there today, west side? Or was that?
I'm going there in the morning.
Tomorrow yet? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Mick and I are going to have ourselves a little one-on-one.
We're going to have a sheephead derby, one-on-one.
Come on. Really?
No.
We might as well. We're both going to be there.
I love it.
The walleyes have been tough to catch over here too. I mean, I've only been out once since the tournament. That was last week, Thursday. I think I caught 5 walleyes, but I caught a whole bunch of sheep. I had a blast just using the live scope and sniping them all day long. The live scope was working really good. I got a lot of good footage for that video tomorrow, but the fish are scattered. I didn't go down to the shoal. I was fishing north in deeper water, like 25 to 30 feet. The fish are scattered out there. It's just, there's bait everywhere. Again, I was watching them eat bait on the live scope. I was casting in the schools of bait to try and trick them, and it just wasn't working for the most part. So it's tough.
Well,
but it will get better here real soon.
We're going to catch them tomorrow.
We'll catch something.
The weather's supposed to be good.
Till about 10 a.m. Then she's going to start blowing, it looks like.
Yeah. Looks like it might be some rain too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Fish
Can't catch them from home.
No.
That's right.
Fish
gotta eat. Fish gotta eat.
I had salmon strips last week that I had to run.
Did you catch them?
Oh yeah, because you took out one of my clients, Bob.
Yep. It was tough. It was really tough fishing.
Where'd you go out of?
We went out of Manitowoc.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Ran anywhere from about 50 feet of water out to 100 feet, and we got fish. It just wasn't it. Sounded like a lot of the fish moved north, Kiwani, Algoma area, and that's kind of where they're hanging out right now. And, I mean, there was fish around. They were tough to catch, but we got a few to go. And they were happy. Weather was iffy the first day, but came back the second day and it was all right.
I told him straight up when he was asking about guides up there, and when I was like, call Cody, I told him straight up, I'm like, you're on Lake Michigan, so you're gonna play the weather, and it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. So
yeah, I mean, if
he's
it's
cool,
if it's the point where we can go out, we're gonna go out even if it's rough, and a lot of times you'll still catch fish in that rough water. It's just miserable to fish in. That's all.
yeah. How many did you lose out of the boat because of seasickness?
We lost two within like 45 minutes of fishing. We had to run back to the dock and drop two off.
Man,
got a little green.
Yeah, well, that's like, I don't know, man. It's like if I did what you did, I would tell everybody straight up. And this is only because I'm sensitive to seeing other people throw up on the boat or anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if I can't get away from it, Dramamine, bring the whole box with you, take it 30 minutes before you start the trip, and then 4 hours later, start taking more.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but
first day they didn't. And by the time we were out there, it would have been too late anyways, because I'm pretty sure you got to take that stuff before.
Oh yeah.
Like an hour, like you said, 30 minutes before you go out. So I don't know. It's just one of them things that I always assume people know that, but these guys have never fished a Great Lake before, so it's different. But it is what it is.
Yep, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, Danny and I, when we went to Cancun back in July, went like on a whale shark snorkeling situation, and I mean, I grew up on Lake Michigan. Like that was like we fished in everything because we had a big charter style boat. And now as I get older, I don't really trust how I was when I was little versus now. So I still, if it's gnarly like that, I'd take it. I mean, I don't know. That last day in the morning, that my dad and I were up there and we ran to Sister Shoal when we shouldn't have. I mean, it was sketchy. I think I was more scared at the time than like feeling seasick or anything, but like when you're riding the troughs, like from, State Park to Sister Shoal and the waves come up and then you go down and you look over and you just like see the sky and nothing else.
That's Great Lake fishing.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder why everyone's going that way and not this way. And we got to Sister Shoal and my dad was like, how the fuck are we even going to fish? And I'm like, we're not. And then turned around and went back and then drank a beer at 7:45 behind.
I seen that. I was on my way out, and Brian, would you have a summer shady?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn,
it was a different Liney's beer. It was like the Honey Vice or something.
Okay, yeah.
And then 4 hours later, it's almost flat calm.
Yeah.
Aaron, when did you leave Ocano to make the run across? Like the same time?
We launched the Marinette. Every time we went up, we launched the Marinette.
Oh yeah.
I think we launched probably around 5:30, right at sunrise, and we went straight to Chambers right away. So it was bumpy. It was a little bit of a ride, but it wasn't like it was over on the East Shore where all the waves had been going to.
Yeah.
We were kind of riding with them a little bit too, which didn't make it too bad. But when I heard you were out there still on the East Shore, I was like, oof, he's braver than I am. I don't know if I would have been out there. I would have waited it out.
It was fun. It was a good day either way. Plus, it was good to see everybody too. Like I think that was the first time I'd probably ever talked to Sweary in person when I pulled up there.
Yeah.
And guy looks like a whole new person now. So good for him.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say a homeless person.
What'd you say?
Technically,
I thought you were going to say a homeless person.
Oh, no.
He's always homeless when he comes over here. He just sleeps in his boat or his truck, one of the two. I don't know.
Oh.
He's living the life.
Really, like finds a ditch and sleeps in it.
Yeah. That's funny. So I don't know. I guess to kind of transition, because we could talk and bullshit about our own experiences all day on this podcast, but we're only 16 minutes in, so we're actually doing pretty good. Hold on 1 second, because I actually have to tell my wife that it's okay she just got home from work and I cooked dinner before she got here. Hey babe, you can come down. There's food there for you to heat up. You can come down. It's fine.
It's safe.
I can't wait for Brian to make me some food.
Dude, I made homemade beef stroganoff tonight with ribeyes, and I have to say it's pretty good.
I will look forward to that whenever I come down there.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to like will fall into existence, because that's like a very fall meal. Like it's chilly outside, get like some 2 bowls of beef stroganoff in your stomach. But here yet, it's still, I don't know, it's cooler now yet. It's like 84. but we have another last heat wave coming this week.
That's warm.
Shit sucked down
That's
here.
freaking cool for you. I guess you guys are dealing with like 120 down there.
Oh yeah, no, that like week when I got back from Door County was awful. I was questioning being like, because it's like you hear people doing like the snowbird thing. I want to do the opposite. I want to leave Kansas in the fucking summertime and come up there and live the winter here because it's fine.
I had to put a jacket on this morning. It was a little chilly out. It was like 45 degrees this morning when I went to work.
No shit.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
They got up to 80, 82, 83, something like that.
Did
Yeah.
you see what it's supposed to be next week? It's going to warm up again.
Yeah, it's going to get hot again. Relatively hot. Not Kansas hot, but Wisconsin hot.
Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
brutal.
Though. It might keep the fishing consistent for a little longer.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what
I
is
like
what is
fishing
the
in
move
Oconto in
then
September.
after August? Like as you transition into September up there, like
Same
is it
thing.
still just kind of the same thing or?
Same thing, yeah, for the most part. I mean, fish will kind of stick around in those areas until that water really starts to cool off and they transition, into their fall pattern, winter pattern. But it kind of starts to dive off a little bit, but you can still go up there and pick fish off.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know as much about up north this time of year, like September, October, but I think it gets really good around Oconto, mid to late September, all the way through November. It's really nice because there's only duck hunters out there. There's nobody fishing walleyes anymore. So I get out there at sunrise. I'm the only boat at the boat launch. You got the whole lake to yourself, really, in the Oconto area, and you get to be serenaded by shotguns all morning. So it's
that
a
is cool
nice
sound.
backdrop.
That is a cool sound.
Yeah, as soon as sunrise hits or shooting time, it's just like a war zone out there some days.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep. I've been there. I've been the one shooting too.
I've never done that. I've never gone duck hunting. I would go if somebody took me, but I'm not investing any of my money in it.
Yeah,
I've only ever duck hunted once. It was fun. But it's like in the fall, like this upcoming time of year, like in the fall, you can't get me off the water. Like that's my favorite time to fish. Like if either of you guys were ever to come down here, especially you, Cody, because we've talked about it before, it'd be like that week before Thanksgiving all the way through like the first week of December for like that fall feed bag bite, all live scope, mostly vertical, some casting too. But that's like any like super insane like wiper videos or like the walleye videos from last fall. That's all like that mid to late November, all bundled up and like water's dipping down into the mid 50s and like west winds blowing 15 to 25 and we're just railing. There's nobody out there. It's a good time.
How cold does the temperature get then when you're out there fishing?
I mean, dude, I would pay such good money right now for, like that 45 to 50 degrees.
Okay.
Air temp.
So you're not talking below freezing when you're doing that.
I mean, I have.
Okay.
It just I don't know. The Kansas weather, like Midwest is not classified by like, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then down to Kansas. I feel like it's the Kansas. It's like Door County. It has its own weird, like, ecosystem or whatever weather. So it could be gnarly early, or it could be hot late. You just never know. So
yeah, I gotta come down there and fish for some of those hybrids.
Well, this like I don't know, because next year I'm going to reel back my guide schedule a little bit, but next year I'll make more time, especially in the fall, to take time off.
Yeah.
And so that if people want to come down or whatever, like we just make a whole thing of it. Just figure out when works best. We got 3 bedrooms here if the kids aren't here, if they're with their dad, and just do it because it's super fun.
The wipers look like fun. I've never seen a hybrid before. They get pretty big, don't they?
Yeah, it's like fishing kings. It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's all like right now, like I saw Andrew Logan posted a video and like Connor Bowen is doing that. Like those fish are coming into the harbors or like getting in the gaps. Yeah, I think Andrew Logan's video today, he was out of McKinley because I could see the white lighthouse in the background. So they're jigging them up now. It's the same thing.
That time of the year.
Is that what you're gonna do that too,
year.
Cody? Do you guide jigging kings in the harbors?
No, there's a lot of people that do that. So I'm going to stay out of that realm and stick with the silverfish on the lake. I'll go do it for fun. I'm not gonna do those guided trips in the harbors.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So it's just, I mean, there's a lot of, especially down there, even fun fishing, like some of the charter captains and stuff, they just get pissy and, they start chucking stuff and throwing things. It's like, I don't even want to have clients in my boat when that shit starts happening. So,
See, and that's like, well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was going to draw the parallel, like this video that I did. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday or the day before. I don't even remember now. When I drove like almost 2 hours to a different lake that I have only fished ever like 3 times. But this time of year, like the wipers, that's like the most popular lake in the state when they start pushing the shad up on the surface, and then there's like the whole topwater explosion and stuff. But that's
yeah.
like guys go out there, they have no graphs, no nothing, but it's like the Aaron Mick, like they just got binoculars and they're just looking around for when these fish are blasting on the surface. And then all of a sudden there's like, 6 to 10 boats going 30 miles an hour straight at the school. And I said in the video, I was like, because I got there at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I was like, I do not want to be stuck here until sunset to wait out this bite because I know that it's going to be absolutely insane. It's just not my thing. Like, yeah, it's fun. I'd probably do it by myself at a different lake where it wasn't so pressured, but it's the same thing like in the gaps. I would never guide. And because I used to when I first started guiding, I would, do the evening sunset thing and we would just like bide our time fishing spoons or jig wraps or whatever until those fish got active in that last 30 to 45 minutes of sunset. But it's just such a cluster that it's not the experience that I want to put my people on when there's 15 other boats around that are just literally chucking like rattle traps and whopper ploppers and chug bugs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just stick with the walleye fish. I mean, come October, a lot of the fish push back into the Fox River and stuff. And, I'll go and run those trips and people enjoy that mainly because it's all casting and the fish are suicidal that time of the year. So you're just putting loads of fish in the boat, and that's a little more enjoyable than, battling everybody that's doing the salmon fish. I mean, the Fox River in the fall, I mean, it can get packed sometimes on the weekends, but it's not like it is in the spring where it's just like boat to boat to boat. A lot of people kind of put the boats away, getting ready for hunting season and stuff like that. So it's not normally as packed as it is in the spring, and it can be a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Is that Aaron? Do you do that too?
I have not gone down to the Fox River in the fall. I stick around up here. So I've had some of my best days for numbers in October the last couple years casting spoons, right out on the O'Connell Shoal and not a boat in sight anywhere. In mid-October, it's nice and cool out there. The water temps around 55, 60 degrees still. It takes a while for it to cool down, just like it takes a while for it to warm up. So even in October, you're looking at 55, 60 degrees, and they really love the spoons that time of year, but especially the hyper rattle. The hyper rattle really shines for me in October, and I'm really still ripping it, just ripping it in October out on Young's Reef, out on the O'Connell Shoal, and I catch a ton of fish that way. So I don't travel very far that time of year. I'd like to go try the Fox River. I see you cast crankbaits down there sometimes. Down on the rapids, I've seen other people doing stuff like that. So maybe worth a shot sometime.
It's there last year the salmon moved in there.
Did they?
Dude, there was more salmon in Fox River, I feel like, than there was in some of the harbors around here.
They had
crazy. I feel like I did see some pictures of guys with some dark kings up there.
Yeah. And it's just like I think the water temps were just so cold last year that those fish didn't have a problem entering the bay and going all the way down to the Fox River just because the temps
that makes sense.
Super warm.
Yeah.
So they were just lost and on their way to the Fox River.
Yeah, they got lost.
Well, yeah, they end up at the pier, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" And then it's it's all 4-year-olds already death wish.
All of a sudden, boom! They got a flicker shed in their head, and they're getting dragged.
Like, what the hell? I feel like a walleye.
Yep. No, I'm definitely gonna have to come up there and bombard you when you're out there alone with spoons. I have yet to catch a walleye on a spoon.
Really?
Yeah, those baits.
All right.
Those baits. I feel like those things are freaking junk. I've
only the hot
more spoons in the water than any other bait that I think I own, just because I get frustrated with them.
I think the biggest part of any bait is just getting confidence with it. Just like you in the death jig, you feel great with it. You catch a lot of fish with it. I don't feel great with it yet, and I give up on it too soon.
I always give up on it too soon.
The spoons, I got lucky. During COVID, I got COVID, so I had to miss work for 10 days. That's when the
Bummer.
spoons first hit. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, I had to miss work for 10 days. I was sick for one, so I spent 9 days fishing. It was great. Um,
Sounds like you're
but I
sick.
got a whole order full of spoons from Paul to try out for the first time, and I hammered fish the first day. So I got that confidence, and I just kept trying them and kept using them, just pounding fish with them in October. And then last year we used them in the summer. We caught a bunch of fish up in Door County with the spoons. And this year it hasn't been it. I've been using shivers pretty much all year. So I think the confidence is a big thing though. Just catching fish
Absolutely.
with something and getting good with it and
Yep.
getting in a rhythm. It helps you catch more fish with any bait.
Confidence has everything to do with it.
Yeah. It's still, well, and with the spoons too, it's like this time of year, like late July into all of August, literally all of August into early September now, which I feel like because we have another heat wave coming and the water temps aren't going to drop as soon as I'd like them to, even with the overnight temps. I mean, spoons have been a staple in my boat just to get whatever bends the rod. Doesn't matter if it's a sheephead, a bunch of little white bass, like for a fishing guide, who cares? I tell people straight up front, it's pretty tough, and I know that we can catch fish, and it doesn't matter if it's a big channel cat or a sheephead or a white bass. If we get lucky with a wiper, a walleye, or a sauger, that's just that. It's like it goes from 90% jigging wraps to like 98% spoons that are tied on. And that,
Okay.
but it took me a while too, because I was still using light leaders and just like blade baits on the Fox. In the spring, I was getting frustrated with the trebles hanging up, and then realized like, okay, use a heavier leader, idiot. And so I started doing that, and then that increased my confidence in like being able to fish clean every single cast instead of every cast or every other cast that spoon fouls up, and then you're just sitting there jiggling the rod trying to get it unfouled or reeling it in and fixing it, making another cast. So I
Right.
get where, yeah, it's frustrating, but that was me with blade baits like 3 years ago, the first time that I took my dad to the Fox, and it was way too early yet, like mid-March or something when the ice had first gone out, where it was like Max, of course, and you, Cody, were like, oh, blade baits are the deal. And so I get all these Cabela's mean eye blade baits and shit, and just couldn't get a clean cast, but I was still using like 10 or 12 pound fluorocarbon leaders instead of 14 or even 17. Like I have a lot of my spoon rods right now, 17-pound fluorocarbon for clients, just to make sure, because it doesn't really affect the action much when you're using a half-ounce spoon, just to make sure that they're not going to foul up the treble on a cast for them.
Yeah, I think I use 15 pound on all my shiver rods, and all like my spoon rods would be considered part of that. And then I actually go down to 12 pound fluoro for like all my death jig presentations, jigging a minnow, jigging a
Oh, yeah.
plastic, whatever, you know. So
Plus, you don't have to, well, in those presentations, especially death jig, you don't have to worry about getting a zebra muscled either.
no,
So
I mean not, yeah, right. As long as you're working it right. There's been a few select times that has happened, but it's very few.
if you're not getting zebra muscled, you're getting goby, and then your crawler's gone. So ask
No
me how I
Gobi.
know. My dad was the king of gobies. I wish I would have had like an
No,
online goby
Roger.
tournament and had my dad.
Roger's the Gobi master. You wouldn't believe how many fucking gobies he catches. It's unbelievable. He can't catch a walleye to save his life. He pulls in a goby every other cast.
Maybe
Half
that's why
the
the
time.
Pelicans follow you.
It's got to be.
Right.
Because I never
Or
feed
that or
them.
the
I never feed the pelicans.
sheephead.
I have too much respect for the sheep to feed the pelicans. But Roger just catches them nonstop. I'll lay my bait right on the bottom under the boat and just let it sit there. I won't catch a goby. He's got them all the time.
That's so
So I don't know
funny.
what he's doing or something about him, but I also use 15-pound fluoro for pretty much everything other than hair jigs. And then I
Yeah.
use 12-pound.
Yeah, big time.
Yep.
So what else, boys? We're only, I don't know, 31 minutes into this. I was planning on 45
Hi.
minutes to an hour. I still got rods to put in the boat. Cody, I'm sure, is going to be out in the morning, has got shit to do.
Yep. What
What else is going on?
fishing.
Cody, what videos do you have cooking right now?
oh
Because I don't have jack shit except for this one video.
it's funny that you said that. I have a pretty badass video dropping on, I'm gonna launch it on Tuesday, and I might even make that a premiere just for fun.
Yeah.
What
Good to
time
do
though?
one of
'Cause
those
I'm
every
doing
now.
mine at 7 tomorrow.
Probably 6.
Okay.
It's not
I'll
tomorrow
watch
though,
it.
it's next week,
Oh, okay.
Tuesday. Yep.
Gotcha.
it's gonna be a big one, something that the channel's never ever seen before. So I'm
Nice.
excited for it. We filmed it back in, I think it's late June. We filmed it,
Oh,
and
wow.
we finally got it all edited up and ready to go. And I got the just to kind of went through a preview of it today, and I'm excited about it. It's pretty cool. And I'm
Must
Nice.
not be walleyes then if it was in June.
Nope, it's gonna be it's a salmon thing.
All right.
But it's gonna be pretty neat, and hopefully something that I can transpire into more videos, some with the similarities of the one that we're gonna be releasing. So next Tuesday, I'm gonna launch it, and I'm gonna probably, like I said, do the premiere for that. I'm excited for it. It's definitely something different.
Nice. Well, that's a
Let me
good
check my
opportunity. I was going to
calendar.
say, stop talking now so you don't give too much of it up, because that's the
Yep.
whole point of doing these with
Yep.
both of you guys, which, by the way, this is the first time we've done like a triplet podcast. So this is fun. This is just the good opportunity for a plug for Cody's channel, Cody S on YouTube, and then Aaron's channel, Aaron Mick. So Aaron's got a video. When are you going to put yours out, Aaron? Tomorrow?
That'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a
guess
lot
what?
of
Mine's
really
coming
cool
out
live stuff
tomorrow,
to
and you guys that are watching can watch like 5 minutes of my video and then just exit the video and then watch Aaron's, and then look forward to Cody's salmon video next Tuesday on their channels. Because, like I said, this time of year, I'm just scraping and clawing through whatever I can get till fall hits. So
I hear you. Yeah, no, I definitely look forward to seeing both of your guys' content all the time. Anytime I see a new one release, I normally just turn it on before I lay down in bed and watch it.
give you something to dream about at night. Some faces to
Yeah, well,
see.
that, and I gotta look for all the little scenes where Aaron Mick's talking shit about me or something, and
yeah,
You
same.
gotta pay attention or you
I'm
miss them.
always on alert now.
you know, always on alert. I gotta look for that stuff so I know what to say in my next video, and
Yep.
just kind of
You
keep.
started it. You
Yeah.
started it, putting my face on the sheep. So it's game on. Open season.
Game on. That was pretty cool. That was clever. I was glad I had the opportunity to do that. That got noticed
I
by
thought it
a
was
couple of
great.
people. I had some
I thought it
people
was
reach out.
great.
Yeah.
Like I said, my wife about pissed her pants when she saw it because we were watching it together. And she
wouldn't-
noticed the face on the fish. I didn't notice the face on the fish when you tossed it back real quick.
Yep.
So I had to rewind it and see it again. I just saw my big face right in the middle of the screen.
Yeah. So it's funny because I put the big face on there and I'm like, that's good enough, And then Miggy tossed the freaking white or the sheephead back, and I'm like, I can make this funnier. So I grabbed your face again, cropped it in there, and then just added all my time lapses to it, or whatever the hell they're called, and dropped it all the way down into the water. And I'm like, yep, that'll work. That'll make them laugh.
It did. And then it just got me thinking immediately because Roger saw it too. And he's the one in the video. He said, you should put Cody's face on a fucking pelican.
Yeah,
He's
I
gobbling
heard
up
that.
fucking fish.
Yeah.
So I left that in there as a little foreshadowing. And then I spent about 4 hours figuring out how to get your face with a transparent background, and then how to get your face on the pelican, and then get them. And then I had everything done and edited and uploaded. And I thought Roger said something about the tan pants. So I went back for another hour getting the tan pants in there on the pelican.
I thought you
That
were
was a lot
talking
of
about
stuff.
me though when he was like the pants. Because
No.
I sat there in my garage and I was like, had my phone up to my ear, and that's why I texted you. I was like, what did Roger say? Because I mean, I like my tan pants too, but then I realized then you'd said
No, he was talking about Cody that time.
There was a lot going on. There was a lot to take in that video. Even my wife, when that video came out, I was sitting there laughing my ass off, and I'm like, no, I'm in this video. And she's like, well, is he like actually talking shit? And I'm like, no, we're all friends. This is
it is funny to see the ball keep going around, but yeah, it's funny that it took you about 4 hours to do that, Mick, because I figured just, I'm like, I talked to this guy at the Duck Creek Walleye series, and he's like, yeah, I just kind of clip and paste all my videos. I'm like, if I did something like this, it's gonna take him a while to try and match my energy because the amount of time it took me to crop your face out and put it on there, probably maybe 10 minutes to get that done. So I'm like, I'm just gonna throw him for a loop here and make him work really hard on the next
I
to
did.
try and do that.
I was YouTubing everything, watching tutorials on how to do this, trying to figure out how to do it for free. And I got it, and I was doing these keyframes and following. Now when I do it, it's a lot quicker. I know how to do it now. It takes me like 10 minutes to do it. The first time was a little bit of a struggle.
I'm forcing you to learn more, so that's good.
That's right. You're making me better.
Now,
actually, we're all doing that, so we can transition this conversation into what I just taught Aaron to do, because it's a very common problem with people that use external mics. And Cody, maybe I'd have to watch another video because I don't watch too many videos with headphones in. But
yeah,
Aaron, all his audio is coming from the right side.
Yeah.
So I told him, this is what you got to do. And then his mind was blown. And then Cody, it was the same thing. Like when you first started using the same Rode mic that I use based on your recommendation, I did research on it. I was like, oh shit, this is happening. And then I changed it. So I don't know if you know about that too, or how to fix it, because
I do know, and I know how to fix it. It's just one of those things that I've been procrastinating about and haven't fixed yet. So if you go back and watch all of my videos that I've pretty much done this year with a pair of headphones on, I think all the audio is going to be in your right headset.
I've told you about it before.
Yeah, you did tell me about it, and I just failed to fix it because I'm lazy.
No, I know, but it's so funny because then when you think about it, it's like if I thought about that, the first time that I used that Rode Wireless Go system, like the first comment was, "Hey man, just thought I'd let you know all your audio is coming out of the right ear." And so, and then there was like another one and another one. I'm like, well, God damn it. Well, I'm like, well, this is driving comments at the same time. But then because I have to have it perfect. And it's just one of those things. But yeah, I get it. But yeah, the same thing happened with Aaron. He was like, oh, I didn't even know.
I felt terrible that you said that, because now all 50 videos I made this year got one ear with volume from my voice, at least, which everybody wants to hear. I don't give a damn about the shitty music. They want to hear me, but
I just want to hear.
Now.
Yeah,
it'll never happen again.
I got pretty used to just hearing you mouth breathe out of my right ear, not my left one.
It's funny too. Like people, you said the music, like it's nice to have music in a video to just kind of take out the silence, right?
Yep.
But if you don't make or alter the volume of that music very well, like I've had videos in the past where people are just complaining, like, take the music out, take the music out. I just want to hear you talk. I don't want to hear the fucking music. Like, take the music out. So many people complain about the music. So it's like,
it's insane.
As good as it sounds to us to add music, there's a lot of people out there that just don't want to hear that shit.
All my Garmin tutorials, that's half the comments. Half the comments are like, this is great, thank you so much. The other half, which I mean, at this point, over like 300,000 views on some of those things, are something about the fucking music.
Yep.
And this was like years ago, where when I didn't care, and now I care. So it's like, it's hard to tell when it's like too low or just perfect. And now I'm just like, it's going to be whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy. I just set it at one volume. I set it at negative 34 decibels, and that's it. I leave it. I watch the video 2 or 3 times, and I always watch it on my TV before I post it. And if it sounds okay to me, then I leave it. Because I did one without music.
I think I always set mine at like negative 20, negative 19 or negative 20 for the music.
What program? You guys both use Premiere? Or
Premiere Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm still a rookie. I'm using DaVinci.
I got a question for you, Aaron. When you are using the Rode, you got the Rode wireless mics, right?
No, he uses
the Hollyland Lark
budget M1 microphone.
That's right.
Oh, all right. So like when you're running your GoPro, you obviously have it on a battery pack, right?
I have it plugged into the boat.
You have it plugged into the boat, but then you also have to have your microphone plugged into the GoPro, correct?
Yes.
And that works simultaneously.
Yep. So the microphone is hooked up with a 3.5 millimeter into the media mod, and then I got the USB plugged into the GoPro as well.
This is the visual for everybody watching the podcast and not listening. This is the visual example of what he's talking about. So that's a GoPro media mod with the Rode Wireless 2 with the 3.5 to the media mod to the receiver for the Rode, which is not, and it was charging, but
so now the budget version. Brian, you notice when you use that, you can't have it plugged into a battery pack and have the microphone running at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that issue?
Yes, because I still have it plugged into I still like it just depends on the day. Like if I don't feel like swapping out the batteries every 34 seconds, I'll leave it plugged in because I know once I stop when you're recording, it's not going to keep the charge or charge it. It's just going to like just continually drain. But if I stop recording, it's going to charge itself. I'm moving spots, at least I'm getting a little bit of juice. But yeah, no, you can't. There's like way too much going on the media mod.
I never swap batteries. I got one battery in there all day long.
Well, but you also
great.
are it's a one camera
Yeah,
perspective.
one camera
It's not
for
like
now.
switching back and forth between a chesty hat or a dash cam thing.
Yeah, that's the main reason I only have one camera right now because I didn't want to mess with batteries. But
that saves a shitload of frustration. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, dude. Keep it that
even
way.
one camera, I get enough issues with one camera. Fucking SD card errors or overheating, or all of a sudden the mic's not working.
Yeah.
Just with one camera, it's enough to get pissed off about.
Keep your roll going with that, especially if your views are good and that's what people are into you for. Don't change it, because as soon as you start adding more camera angles and a vlog camera, like it gets to be a lot editing.
I think I'm gonna buy another GoPro just to have one dedicated for the live scope if I ever want to.
Yeah.
Because right now, when I do the live scope cam, I film myself with my phone. And it works, but it's kind of annoying to have to set my phone up every time.
Yeah.
So if I had one GoPro just for the live scope when I want it, and one for me, that'd be fine. I don't want to wear a chesty or a hat cam. I tried the hat cam a couple times. I kind of like it, but I don't think there's a lot of people that don't like it. It was kind of a cool perspective to try out, but
it is. But it just gets way overused because it's like for some people watching, it's a lot of. There's so much going on that some people are like, whoa, I'm getting, because I did that a lot in April when I was up in Ocano. I did the hat cam thing. But then when the batteries started dying and I didn't feel like changing it in 35-degree weather, I had my external battery pack connected to my GoPro and my battery pack was sitting in my hood.
That'll keep your hood down instead of that fucking hood blowing up at you every time.
Yeah. Or like going to let a fish go and then I can feel the battery pack like sliding down my shoulder.
I do it. I have both the setups. So I always have the chest, mount with me, and then I always have a head cam mount with me. And then when I get out there, I just open my pack up and I'm like, what am I feeling today? Am I going to do a head cam or a chest cam? And sometimes I mix it up. I do the head cam just to do something different. And then sometimes if I feel like wearing the chest mount, I'll do that. The big thing that I don't like about the chest mount is I feel constricted when I'm wearing it. I honestly do not like wearing that if I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
The head cam's a lot easier, but then at the same time, if you're catching fish, I never really like to have the camera on my hat for like pictures and stuff.
Right.
I always rip it off or, take the hat off and have like another hat in the boat to wear for like pictures and stuff like that. Cause it just looks so freaking dopey. I mean, it's big.
Look like Cole.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want that in my photos,
Tell me about it. So like my computer's not plugged in because it's on this table. One of my favorite pictures from this past April with my buddy Brandon Herfel, we had a double. My fish was 29, his was 25 and a half. Just like it was so foggy, you couldn't see anything, and like the fish looks so good and the picture's so good, but yet then there's Derpy Dan with the hat cam with like the GoPro and the cord going back to the battery pack that's in my hood. It's just brutal.
Yeah. And there's no other really good way to do it. So that's just what you got to deal with as a content creator, and find different ways to do it and make it look good. But once you find that niche and you know what people like and why they're watching you, you just kind of stick with it. Don't stray too far from that.
I know. That's why I'm jealous now. Well, it's so funny because like this video that I'm going to put out tomorrow, it's just like nothing. I cut so much footage out of it. It's not even funny. I haven't cut the sailboat part out of it. It was just like biting Aaron's videos where it was just like a lot of quick cuts of me talking and like just walking people through the process of like going to fish a new lake that I've only fished 2 or 3 times in like 10 years. And I just, it would just be so much easier if it was one camera angle with a microphone and just call it good. But that's Aaron's niche and I'm not going to bite it. And
no, I mean, you can't sneak into his niche either. Like that's his thing. If you try sneaking in or, coming up from behind or something,
I'll catch you.
Slaps you in the face. Boom, 500 views. That's it.
Oh yeah.
So
I feel like I try to make videos like aimed at millennials or videos that I like to watch. That's what I'm making. I make videos that I like to watch that I find are funny and entertaining. And 80% of people that watch my videos are over 50 and they don't get any of the references, which is also a good thing because it's not like it pisses them off when there's a half a second vine in there from 2010 about a bee. They don't even know what the hell that is. They probably don't even notice it.
yeah.
So when
Cody,
I throw
do
in
you
these little
remember Vine?
clips,
Vine, yeah, I remember Vine.
Just making
Do
sure,
it,
because
do it for the
Cody,
Vine.
Aaron, I think Cody's like 8 to 10 years younger than both you and I. So
how old are you?
26.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
32.
He's 10 years younger than I will be in less than a month. So
Actually, my birthday is in September. It's coming up. I'll be 27.
mine's the 23rd. What's your birthday?
You want to know a fact that a lot of
I-
people don't know? I have the same exact birthday as Max Wilson. Same
No
day,
way.
same time, same age. Almost, yeah, it's just same everything. During a Packer game. Like it's nuts.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
You guys
Yep.
both catch big walleyes on death jigs.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that was something when him and I first met. That was that was one of the things we figured out, and we were both like, no way.
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but
Brian's going to be here for my birthday next year. Mine's April 12th.
Yep, I
So
will.
he's going to be up here partying, catching walleyes,
Yeah.
party.
hopefully.
I will likely be in Erie.
In April?
The second week of April?
Yeah, well, I'm fishing the National Walleye Tour next year. And
Oh
the
yeah, that's right.
first one is the
About that.
18th and the 19th of April in Ohio.
Are you fishing all of them next year?
Yep, that's the plan.
Hell yeah.
I was really debating the O'Connell one. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know what I want to do.
Don't even debate it, just do it.
When is that? When is the O'Connell one?
June
June
20th.
20th, yeah. It's
That'd be fun.
my fiance's birthday.
Oof.
So I'm thinking about I might end up doing it. I don't want to do it as a co anymore. I wanted to the last couple of years. But now I think I got a really good chance of getting screwed and stuck with some idiot if I join as a co
Yeah.
instead of a pro. Just pony up the money
Yeah.
and do what I'm worth.
That's the thing, right? You know, it's like, do you do it as a co and take your chances of getting paired up with good pros, or do you just money up and go in as a pro on your home body of water and give it a shot?
Yeah.
And you know, things June 20th, things are going to go your way, or they're not. You know, it's
Hero or zero. That's the
yeah,
only option.
it's a really tough time of the year, but you got the time to go out there and, you know, dial in a program, whereas some of these guys are traveling from, you know, a pretty good distance away, and they just don't have the time, you know, that
Yeah.
we have here. So
I'll pay extra to go with John Hoyer. I'll pay $2,000. I don't care.
I was gonna say, I mean,
Anything
that's how Hoyer got his start. He was a co forever, and then
Yep.
he started fishing as a pro, and then look where he is now.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he fished you know, a couple of years as a co-angler, and you know, he did well there, learned some things, and then hopped on the pro side, and that, you know, his career just took off for him. But it's funny because that guy, you know, started off really as mainly as a muskie fisherman,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which made him really detail oriented. So, you know, transferring from muskie fishing over to walleyes, it's just like you have all the means of patience and, you know, finding out the small little details that it takes to, you know, get a fish to bite, and bringing that over into the walleye world. I mean, you're just setting yourself up for success there, you know?
Yeah.
He brought a different style completely to the walleye game that nobody had seen before, I think, and he kind of took over. And now
Yeah.
everybody's copying him. I mean, Dwayne, they all do the same stuff, and they're all doing really good.
Yep.
And
It's that off the wall
crazy.
stuff that he does that, you know, everybody else is afraid to try, and he does it, and he does well.
Yeah.
I still
So,
got champ swimmers in my boat. I'm still trying them. One of these days, those champ swimmers are gonna hit. I'm gonna
yep.
make it happen.
I spent some time doing that actually the last couple weeks here, and there's some opportunity.
Yeah,
There is some
I'm gonna
opportunity.
make it happen. It's
Well, you
gonna
just
happen
think
one of these
about,
days.
you know, it's like when the first time that the literal first time I ever met Miguel in person was when I was up in Door County for a smallmouth trip when I was by myself. And like we'd fished or I'd been fishing like Sister Island all day because there were fish there, like literal hundreds, thousands of smallmouth. And I'm like, what? Why would I ever leave this? And then he shows up with his buddy and he was like, we're going to go fish around, like we're going to go out of the Kinney Park or whatever, out of the channel, and then go night fish for walleyes or whatever. And then took me up to Cody. You'll probably know the spot. Aaron, you probably know the spot too. I don't even know if it's good anymore. That like abandoned hotel or motel or whatever.
Yep.
Is it Chateau or is that what it's called? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the
That's,
spot?
I mean, that's what we call it. Right.
Yeah.
But there's, I mean, there's a lot of different names for it, but that's
Yeah.
one of them.
But he was, he's like throwing like 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce jig heads with like a 5-inch swim bait. And this would have been like, way post spawn walleyes or whatever. You didn't catch anything big and we only had limited time, but it's like, why would that not work right? Or in August too? Why would it not have the same effect? I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you do in spring that you think like are only spring,
Mhm.
But then, the more you play around with things and just kind of, if you got time, throw stuff out there, all of a sudden you find out that some of this stuff works all the time.
Yeah.
And it's effective. So,
Yeah. And if they're eating alewives all the
yeah,
time, or if the alewives are around, why would a big swim bait not
right.
work, or a big
Yeah. I
plastic,
mean,
whatever?
it's really just all about trial and error and, figuring out what works for you, really.
Yeah.
We threw a bunch of them up pre-fishing for the bet on the bay. We went the west shore of the UP there. We were throwing swim baits, and I had 2 bites on it, lost them both. Roger caught that one decent one on a swim bait. So we tried it. Well, mainly because the bottom was all scum. It was weird. It was just weird, scummy shit. You couldn't fish a shiver minnow or anything else, so you had to fish something without a treble. And we were getting bites on it, but just like every other time, the fish weren't super active. So I'm gonna keep trying it though. I have faith in it. That 1 ounce jig head with that 5-inch champ swimmer, I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
Power through.
Yeah.
It catch
I love
fish.
it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we're kind of edging on that time frame now because, like I said, I've still got to eat dinner yet. Got 9 rods. I just put new line on 9 rods that are still in the living room where my wife's sitting, and we're all ready to have dinner. And Cody, you got a trip tomorrow, I'm sure. Aaron's gonna fish tomorrow, so we all got shit to do. But again, appreciate you guys taking the time. This is super fun. I'm sure this is obviously not the last time that we're gonna do this. It's kind of like different bites progress throughout the year. Yeah. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having
No
me
problem.
on.
Three amigos.
It's fun.
Three amigos.
Yeah.
I enjoy hopping on here and talking shit with you guys.
Yeah, always, man. Well, again, appreciate you taking the time. And like I said, won't be the last time that we do it. Just as things kind of progress through all of our videos. So we'll use this as one last plug for everybody's channel. Cause like I said, that's how I found Aaron. Was like just randomly getting hyped up for that, late March, early April Ocano bite. Found Aaron's channel, and then found out that I'd already met him 2 years ago at Fleet Farm when I was buying a license. And Cody's videos, same thing. Cody, both returning guests on the channel. I didn't want it for the first year of this podcast have returning guests, but I just thought it was a good opportunity since we were all up a couple weeks ago, Indoor County, doing the same thing. You guys fish the same derby, just talk about how things have progressed with the walleye bite. Indoor County, for what everyone affectionately calls August up there. Just to give a little bit more context to my video, and you guys will see on Cody's and Aaron's channel as well, their videos here from the last month. So that's all.
Thanks, man.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, boys.
I'll see you out there.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to hearing stories. Yeah, and any superimposing of people's faces on sheephead or anything of the like.
I'm going for small walleyes tomorrow for your face.
All right. I'm going for sheephead.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Yep.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye.